All right, I'm with Greg Papa, the voice of the 49ers. And Greg, there's so many intriguing matchups for this game on Monday night. Kind of as you prepare to call that game, like where do your eyes kind of go, and what do you kind of see as being the things that are going to be the most telling as far as what's going to determine the outcome of this game?
The New York Jets rebuilt offensive line. They got 3 new starters on the O-line, Matt. And Aaron Rodgers is, he's 0-4 against the Niners in playoff games and 2 against Kyle's bunch. But he has beaten him in the regular season. I think when Aaron Rodgers has success against anybody, but specifically the Niners, it's comfort in the pocket. And I remember a couple of games where he did not have comfort in the pocket. The 2019 year, Sunday Night Football, Week 12 at Levi's. And I think that was the first night I thought, this team's going to the Super Bowl. They completely overwhelmed. Back then it was Brian Balaga and David Bakhtiari, and the Gold Rush were just he had his back foot, and he had these deep set eyes, and his eyes were, we can't block these guys, I'm screwed. Yeah. And then it happened again in the championship game, and Mostert ran all over him. So last year he got hurt on the 4th play of the season against Buffalo, and
Leonard Floyd
got him on snap 4, but the first 3 he was under siege. Every time he went back, he kept audibilizing at the line, trying to get the right protection. He had that same look in his eyes. They have rebuilt this offensive line. So Tyron Smith is their new left tackle. You vote for the Hall of Fame. I think he'll get some consideration.
Absolutely.
I think Nick Bosa knows how to rush him, and Tyron's had a lot of injuries late in his career. We've seen him in Dallas. That'll be one matchup. Morgan Moses, who's as old as Moses, on the other side at right tackle. And I think Floyd will get him. They got John Simpson inside. They got a lot. They got, some guys. Elijah Vera Tucker's moved to guard. Anyway, I think the key is when they have the ball. Because if you give Aaron Rodgers a clean pocket, he's one of the greatest pure throwers of the football we've ever seen. And Garrett Wilson, their wide receiver, is that good. But to me, this is the rebuilt 49er defensive line of Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, the Gravedigger coming back better, Jordan Elliott. Gross Matos may not play in this game, but Can they collapse that pocket against the Jets' rebuilt offensive line and not allow Aaron Rodgers to sling it?
Nick Bosa says that he thinks this defensive line is better than it was last year. With Malik Collins, he's a load on the inside, going to be tough to run against. What Bosa said was he felt like because their run fits are so intricate that all the guys coming to the team later in the season didn't really get on board with how they play the run.
Totally. Ask Nick this. I mean, to me, that's not a great, massive statement. I think it's way better than last year's group, and they brought a lot of guys in, Randy Gregory and Chase Young, and they tried a lot of different guys. Sebastian Joseph Day later. This group is better. In fact, I would even take it to the Gold Rush. The 2019 group of D. Ford at one end, Nick at the other. Nick's a rookie, and D. Ford was really good.
Yeah.
First half of that year till he hurt his hammy trying to run Kyler Murray down. Then you had the Oregon Tall Furs inside, DeForest Buckner and Eric Armstead.
Boy, it's not that good.
So I would say, you don't think so? You got, what are you paying these guys with Javon Hargrave and Nick? And Leonard Floyd's making pretty good money. I mean, is Leonard Floyd a more productive pass rusher than D. Ford?
I guess when D was healthy,
but he wasn't
really,
the whole
you're
year.
right. Yeah. Okay.
And then the other thing is, ask Nick.
And by the way, Nick said that he thinks that Floyd's going to have his best season ever.
He's had some good years.
Yeah.
He gets 10 sacks every year. And then with the guys inside, you got squad of your guys. You got Javon Hargrave and Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott are more traditional D tackles, and Buckner and Armstead were great players. But if they had a weakness, they were basketball players. They were 6'7". Yeah. Sometimes they get double teamed and rooted out.
Yep.
So when you ran twists, the games where Nick loops, and Nick's a great rapper, where he'll start out at end, the tackle goes first, he comes underneath them. I think it got a little sloppy sometimes with the bigger guys just because of the nimbleness. These guys, the Hargrave and Malik Collins in particular, knows how to run a twist. Whether the tackle goes first and it's a TE, or the end goes first, so you can twist the front a little bit. So it's just look at it when it's all said. I think this group has a chance to rival that group. Maybe the first half of the year when D. Ford was really good, he was so fast. But think about Leonard Floyd, Matt. Technique-wise, he's not perfect. It's He's not like Andre Carter. Remember Andre Carter was just so
Very
beautiful
long.
coming off the edge. It was all just like a velodrome. He just turned the corner. It was like just perfect.
A what?
Like you're on a velodrome.
Okay,
You're banking
Uh-huh.
he would just bank it beautifully. It was like, wow, every step is, you got it. And he went into coaching because he's great at it. Where Leonard Floyd kind of, he kind of feels you. And then he if he can't beat you here, he comes up underneath and he gets the sack. So like he got against the Raiders, that's a classic Leonard Floyd sack because he's just relentless. And Nick forces guys because he comes around the edge. You step up into that spot, all of a sudden Leonard Floyd's not running the hoop on the outside. He's coming underneath it. So let's just see.
Okay.
Watch a few games, then go ask Nick, does this group in 2024, the Gold Rush, that front four, have a chance to be better than his rookie year in 19?
Okay. And then on the other side, that's a good defense they're facing, the 49ers. I mean, the Jets have a great defense. Oh, well, maybe not great, but very good.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
They won 7 games last year with
nothing.
not very good
Offense.
quarterback play.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey scored more touchdowns last year himself than the Jets scored.
Wow.
Jets had 18 touchdowns last year.
Okay.
McCaffrey had 21.
So what's Jeff Ulbrich and Robert Salah? What are they gonna dial up to try to slow down Brock Purdy and McCaffrey and are they gonna with Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed are they gonna shadow they gonna have Gardner shadow Ayuk? But
They could.
Ayuk, yeah.
I think if this was week 5 and Ayuk was showed on tape that he was Ayuk, but the fact that he missed so much time, I think they'll wait and see and feel the game out. I don't know. They could have Sauce follow him. One matchup I like, and Sauce is a pretty tough guy, but he's got spindly legs. He's 6'3", 190.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to move Sauce over to Ayuk's side, or, if he stays over on the offense's right at left corner, you send Ayuk out that way, I think Ayuk can manhandle him in the run game. Just that's where Ayuk's great skill is. He's a great route runner, and he catches everything in the long arms, the big hands. But he's of all the elite wide receivers in pro football, he's by far the best blocker. So, he can win that matchup. DJ Reed plays more. And this is Robert Salah. This is the cover 3 we saw a lot when he was here, where, DJ Reed will play like Richard Sherman. He'll open up his hips and play bail technique and on top. And then you got to run the comebacks. And I think that's a good matchup for Debo if they want to go that way. I don't know. The one thing, and then Quinnen Williams on their deep line is you got to double that guy. You got to get four hands on that guy. That guy's great.
The guy they would have taken if the Cardinals had selected
Without
Nick
a
Bosa.
doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And he was a dominant. His final year at Alabama, and I saw a lot of his games because I did the Iron Bowl that year against Auburn. Nick got hurt that year, in his 3rd week of the year. Quinnen Williams had a better year that year, I thought.
Yeah.
Nick's an edge guy, I get it, but Quinnen Williams is Nick Bosa inside. But anyway, the one thing that worries me, and I want to hear what you're thinking, is just Kyle's gone up against defensive coordinators that he's been on the same. Dan Quinn was the head coach in Atlanta and ran Dallas's defense, or Raheem Morris, or Mike Pettin, or name a lot of guys. But he's never gone up against a defensive coordinator, or now a head coach. And Salah does not call their defense, but it's his defense.
Yeah.
Ulbrich calls it. But that was on his staff when Kyle was the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. This is Robert Salah. This is not a guy you worked with 10 years ago or 15 years ago in Washington or whatever. This was Salah, who ran the defense here that went to the Super Bowl. So the cat and mouse game, he knows Salah. I hired Salah. I know that defense you ran and you run is my defense.
Yeah.
But then Salah knows Kyle and all the idiosyncrasies. That matchup is fascinating.
Yeah, it is. And I remember Richard Sherman saying that Kyle's offense would test their rules like nobody else tested their rules. When Kyle Shanahan became the head coach of the 49ers, what did he want for his defense? A defense that gave him problems. So that's why, Robert Salah wasn't his first choice, but that scheme was his first choice. So he's basically admitted, 7 years ago or 8 years ago, that that's the defense that he doesn't like to go up against the most. So we'll see. And the Jets have a lot of talent across the board. Should be a lot of fun.
Jeff Ulbrich, they tried to bring him here to be the Niners defensive coordinator. The former Niner was from San Jose. And before Sorensen, Belichick got offered it. And who else did he offer it to? Spagnuolo, or at least somewhat.
Yeah.
He wanted Ulbrich. So just that matchup of Kyle against Ulbrich, but really Kyle against Robert Salah. And the fact that they're buddies and were together since going back to Houston in 2006. They were
Yeah.
on that staff together. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is YouTube.
Hi, you two.
That's Greg Papa.